Do you think it tastes different today? Mila, my mother-in-law, asked with a sly grin. Tonight's dinner was curry. Really? I think it tastes just like it always does. As I respond, Mila starts laughing uproariously, clapping her hands. I wonder what's so funny. What do you mean? I put this in it, she says, still laughing, showing me a bottle of bleach. Pregnant, I rush to the bathroom and throw up everything. Why would you do such a thing? I wanted you to have a miscarriage. Someone who can't even properly do housework shouldn't be raising children. That's just too cruel. How would she take responsibility if something happened to the child? Even when I tell my husband that she put bleach in the curry, he doesn't listen, saying, Mom would never do something like that. A week later, Mila was in a traffic accident and became paralyzed from the waist down. Now that I can't move freely, you'll have to take care of me for the rest of my life. That's right. You should take proper care of Mom, as she says. My husband chimes in. I was doing as they said, but one day Mila, who demanded to be taken to the bathroom quickly, threw a plastic bottle at me. At that moment, my suppressed emotions exploded. What? Go to the toilet by yourself. What's with that attitude? You're his wife. You should take care of me. Does she really think it's my duty just because I'm her son's wife? Wasn't she the one who almost killed my unborn child? Do whatever you want. I'm leaving this house. With those words, I left my parents-in-law's home. 2 years ago, I married Trevor, a full-time employee at an IT company, and quit my job when we got married. I feel bad for Cynthia, but I want you to live with me at my parents' house. I don't want to leave Mom alone. My father-in-law had passed away from a heart attack when Trevor was still an elementary school student, and it had been just Mila and him since then. I can somewhat understand Trevor's feelings. We're newlyweds. I wanted us to live by ourselves. But if Trevor insists, that's fine. Can I continue working, though? Can you also quit your job? I just don't want you to be alone during the day. Even though I felt it wasn't necessary to go that far, I lost to Trevor's insistence in my heart and decided to quit my job and agree to live together at his parents' home. And so our cohabitation at the parents-in-law's home began. Mila, I look forward to living with you starting today. You know, I really wouldn't mind if you weren't here at all. Mila's unexpected reply took me aback. No need to say something like that on the first day. I'm only living here because Trevor asked me to. I was a bit irritated by Mila's words, but I just smiled and brushed it off. Right. Since you're here now, you'll take care of all the household chores, okay? All of them? You've quit your job to be a housewife, right? It's only natural for a married woman to do that much. True, as a housewife, now I do have the time, and it's not like I can't do it. Maybe Mila has a point. I'm going to be living at the parents-in-laws' home from now on. I should indeed take on the household responsibilities. Understood. I'll do it. Then please start with cleaning right away. What, now? I've just arrived at the parents-in-laws' home, and I haven't even unpacked my things yet. What are you daydreaming for? Get moving, or it'll be dark before you know it. Well, I guess I can take care of my stuff tomorrow. Mom, come on. Cynthia doesn't need to do it today. She's tired from moving. Just as I was about to start cleaning, Trevor stepped in to defend me. Mila didn't seem pleased with Trevor protecting me, and raised her voice at him. You! What's with the coddling? Wasn't it your idea to have her stay in the first place? So what? She's my wife, of course I'm going to take care of her. Life at the parents-in-laws' home was full of uncertainty, but I felt truly relieved when Trevor shouted back at Mila in anger. With him by my side, I figured I could manage somehow. That's what I thought at the time. The next day, after seeing Trevor off to work, I relaxed in the living room and watched TV. Good morning. What are you watching? Oh, Mila. Good morning. I was just watching a soap opera. I returned the greeting to Mila, who had just woken up, and turned back to the TV. Then Mila grabbed the TV remote and turned it off. You don't have time to be lounging around. Get started on cleaning, right now! Mila suddenly snapped at me. There's no need to rush. It's only 8 a.m. I have plenty of time to finish everything by noon. Mila, there's no need to rush. It's still 8 a.m. Still? It's already 8 a.m. You don't have time to dawdle. Once cleaning is done, there's laundry, dinner prep, and shopping to do. Yes, I understand. Reluctantly, I started cleaning as Mila commanded. Just when it was getting good, too. I couldn't concentrate on cleaning because I was too caught up thinking about the soap opera. Did you finish cleaning? What about the toilet and shower room? Make sure the windows are clean, too. Mila kept yelling at me while I was cleaning. I wonder why she's in such a hurry. She turned off the soap opera I was watching, so give me a break. Mila, I'm done. Too slow. Far too slow. How could Trevor marry such a dimwit? Even after we finished cleaning, Mila wouldn't stop with the sarcastic comments directed at me. If you have that much to say, do it yourself. That's what I was secretly wishing. I'm sorry for taking so long. Exactly. That's why I never wanted to live with such a useless woman. Whether I did the laundry, cleaned, or cooked, she seemed to always have something to complain about. Mila's mood never improved, continuing to throw cruel words at me one after another. The harassment went on every day from then on. Living like this every day is just too much. 3 months into living with Mila, I was at my limit, both mentally and physically. Around that time, I was newly pregnant with Trevor's child, and the morning sickness was so bad, there were days I could hardly move. Hey, my morning sickness is really bad, and there are days I can't move. Mila won't listen when I talk about it. Could you maybe talk to her for me? No way, it's your issue. You should tell her. It won't make a difference if I say anything. One day after Trevor came back from work, I sought his counsel, but he just laughed it off as if it had nothing to do with him and didn't listen at all. What was all that about yelling at Mila, saying he cared about me? Was it all just for show? I felt like I had no allies in this house, and day by day, my mood only got worse. Really, such a useless woman. It's a wonder you got married at all. Trevor really has no eye for people. Mila would snidely say to me daily, but I no longer cared. I stopped feeling irritated by Mila's words and spent my days expressionless. A month later, on that day, Trevor was out at a company party, so it was just Mila and me for dinner. As usual, I prepared dinner and laid out the evening meal on the table. Curry tonight, huh? Even you can mess up curry. Mila, as usual, commented sarcastically while looking at the curry before her. She complained, but ate everything without leftovers, so by now, I thought nothing of it. Well, shall we eat then? We began our meal, but Mila then asked me to bring her some water, so I stood up from my seat. After giving Mila the water, I returned to my seat and took a bite of the curry. Don't you think something's different than usual? Mila asked me with a nasty smile. Different? It's just normal, isn't it? It's the same as always. When I replied, Mila began to laugh loudly, clapping her hands. Why is she laughing so much? I'm completely lost here. Confused, I asked Mila what was going on. What's so funny that you're laughing like that? You're really oblivious, aren't you? Didn't you notice it even as you ate? I put this in. Can't believe you didn't notice. Did you like it that much? Mila laughed, showing me a container with bleach. I couldn't believe I had ingested something like that. But there was no change in taste or smell. Maybe the curry's scent covered it up. I was filled with regret that I hadn't realized the bleach had been added to my food. No, this isn't the time to regret. I need to get what I ate out of my system, and fast. Remembering the little one in my belly, I rushed to the bathroom in a panic. Really, such a silly girl. As I gagged and struggled to keep vomiting, Mila just kept clapping her hands and laughing. How can she be so cruel? I can never forgive her for doing this, knowing I'm pregnant? In that moment, I finally raised my voice at Mila. This isn't funny! What have you done? What if something happens to my baby? There's no need to get so mad. You vomited it all out. You'll be fine. Mila didn't seem to feel any remorse at all. Thinking it's okay just because I vomited? That's absurd. Fine because I threw up? How can you say such things so calmly? Even a child knows not to drink bleach. I'm going to the hospital right now. After giving Mila a piece of my mind, I headed for the hospital. What if something happens to my baby? I couldn't calm my nerves. Please, let everything be okay. With my heart pounding as if it were right by my ear, I arrived at the hospital, praying for my child's safety, where I was immediately given a gastric lavage. After the doctor's examination, both the baby and I were declared fine. For now, you can go home, but if you feel off, come back immediately. There might be a delayed reaction. Relieved by the doctor's words, I returned to my parents-in-law's home. As soon as I got there, Mila started with her snide comment. Oh, look who's back! Making such a fuss over a little Bleach. Why is she still laughing? I thought she had almost killed my child. Ignoring Mila, I went back to my room. If I talk to Mila now, I might just hit her. Oh, where have you been? Trevor was there, back from work. I went to the hospital! You won't believe this. Knowing I was pregnant, she put bleach in the curry, trying to feed me that. She even clearly said she wanted to cause a miscarriage. I told Trevor what Mila had done, but he seemed skeptical. Mom wouldn't do something like that. Stop lying. I felt a surge of anger at Trevor laughing and taking Mila's side. It's his child too. How can you laugh? Fine. If you don't believe me, so be it. But I will never forgive Mila. I don't want to stay in this house. If I keep staying here, she might actually kill my child. Mila kept up her harassment the next day and the day after. But I, having reached the peak of my anger, decided to ignore her completely. I kept up with the household as usual, but ignored Mila thoroughly, no matter what she said. After all, I'd be leaving this house soon anyway. A week later, as I was zoning out in the living room of my parents-in-law's home, my mobile phone rang. Cynthia, it's the police! Mom's been in an accident! Mila has? You didn't keep an eye on Mom? Just get to the hospital immediately! Mila had an accident? Now that I think about it, she did say she was going to buy groceries herself today. After hanging up with Trevor, I headed to the hospital where Mila was taken. As much as I dislike the person, I wouldn't feel good if she died. I just hope there's no life-threatening condition. Upon arrival at the hospital, I entered the private room where Mila was admitted. Is Mila okay? Yeah, she's pulled through. There was a grim look on Trevor's face. What happened? As I wondered, Mila spoke up. She seemed lucid and didn't appear to have any issues. My lower body? I can't move it. What? Does that mean you can't walk anymore? That's right. So now you'll have to take care of me. For life. Due to the accident, Mila suffered spinal cord damage, resulting in lower body paralysis. Hearing Mila's declaration, Trevor also broke into tears, saying, Exactly! Why did you let Mom go shopping in the first place? You should have took care of her, just like she said. That's what he told me. Why do I have to be the one to take care of her? This has to be a joke. I spoke up firmly to both of them. Why do I have to take care of Mila? After she almost killed our child? Fortunately, nothing happened, but what she did is attempted murder, you know. That may be true, but you're my wife. It's only natural for you to take care of Mom. Just because I'm his wife, I'm supposed to take care of Mila? He should take care of his own mother. Why don't you take care of your own parent? Stop pushing everything onto me. I have work, and I can't always be there. That's why I'm asking you. Plus, it's your fault for letting Mom go shopping in the first place. Take responsibility. Mila had said she wanted to go shopping, so I let her. Why do I have to be the bad guy? This family is so selfish. Realizing that arguing was futile, I stopped responding to them. 3 days later, Mila was discharged and returned to our parents-in-law's home. After dropping Mila off at the parents-in-law's home from the hospital, Trevor immediately left for work. It seems he has no real intention of taking care of Mila. Usually, you'd take the day off on your parents' discharge day. I'm so angry that he's dumped everything on me. Aside from her lower body paralysis, Mila is very energetic and started ordering me around as soon as she got back to the parents-in-law's home. Hey, pass me that remote control. You can reach it yourself. Why don't you get it? My legs don't work. Her upper body is fine, and the remote is within reach if she stretches out her arm. Don't call me over for such a trivial matter. That evening, the day Mila returned to the parents-in-law's home, her voice echoed from the living room. Hey! Come here, will you? not this again. Now what's it this time? Feeling fed up, I had been ignoring Mila, but her voice was getting louder and louder. Can't you hear me, you bitch? Get over here now! Reluctantly, I headed towards the living room. What's with all the yelling? Finally showed up, huh? I need to go to the bathroom. Take me there, will you? No, I won't. Please don't raise your voice for such things. After all, you're wearing diapers in case of emergencies. Leaving those words with Mila, I tried to return to my room. That's when I felt a strong impact on my back. Ouch! Looking at my feet, there was a plastic bottle full of water rolling around. Seems like Mila threw it in frustration at my attitude. Mila, did you throw this? That's right! It's your fault for not taking me to the bathroom! Just do as I say without any backtalk! I had reached my limit. After being ordered around and having things thrown at me, and to think my child might have been killed. Time to let her know she's mistaken if she thinks I'll always be a pushover. Quiet and obey, huh? I might feel sorry for your condition, Mila, but aren't you getting a bit too carried away? What about me is getting carried away? That's what I'm talking about. You yell when things don't go your way and throw things. Besides, like I said at the hospital, why should I have to care for you? I told Mila with a cold voice. That might be true, but at least take me to the bathroom. I already told you no. Besides, I'm leaving this house. Huh? Mila looked surprised, unable to grasp what I was saying. After she threw the plastic bottle at me, I decided then and there to leave this house today, right now. I'm not about to keep bending to someone like her. Leave, as in this house? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Did the accident make you stupid? I'm sick of being ordered around by you and Trevor. Oh, I'll listen to that later. Just take me to the toilet. I forgot to wear diapers today. Mila was still clamoring to be taken to the bathroom, probably at her limit. But no matter how much she begs, I'm not taking her. Do whatever you want, I don't care. I'll never forgive you for this. I don't need your forgiveness. Just so you know, I'll never forgive you either. With those parting words to Mila, I headed to my room, grabbed the bare minimum, and left the parents-in-law's at home. I half expected Trevor to call me after I left the parents-in-law's at home on my own, but there was no contact at all. A month later, I had returned to my parents' house and was living a stress-free life. Life had been hard every day, so being at home was truly a joy. Then, on a day off, Trevor suddenly called. You're at your parents' house, right? What do you want, calling me out of the blue? Just get back here. I have something to talk about. He calls now, after all this time, saying he has something to talk about. Absolutely not taking my calls, but now acting all high and mighty, huh? Ignoring me for a whole month just shows how little you care. What a selfish person. Still, this is a good chance to end things properly with those two. I might as well tell them directly that it's over between us. Fueled by anger, I headed to my parents-in-law's home. Long time no see, it's me. Come in. Trevor answered the intercom, and I stepped into the in-laws' house. Mila, seeing me enter the living room, immediately started yelling. So you finally show up! Where have you been hiding all this time, you witch? In the past, Mila's shouting might have cowed me, but not anymore. Where? I went back to my parents' home. Just took off on your own? Do you have any idea how tough it's been here? If you're back, start taking care of me right away. That's what I've been trying to tell you. I won't be taking care of Mila. Ask Trevor to do that. You're to blame for this mess, so take responsibility! Mila flung another plastic bottle at me, but I dodged it effortlessly. Picking up the plastic bottle that had skittered across the floor, this time I chucked it back at Mila with all my might. I made sure not to hit her directly with the bottle. What the heck? That's not safe! Mila must have never expected it to be tossed back to her. She let out a voice that sounded quite shocked. You know it's dangerous. I avoided hitting you, but you didn't miss when you hit me, did you? You! What do you think you're doing? Throwing things at people? I'll call the police! Trevor, who had been watching the exchange with Mila, interjected, but if he was keen on calling the police, so was I. Acting like they're the victim. You're going to report me to the cops? Go right ahead. I'll also report Mila for attempted murder and assault with a plastic bottle. The mention of the police seemed to frighten Trevor and Mila, and they quickly quieted down. Always quick to blame me, but never reflecting on their own actions. Are they out of their minds? Please, not the police. I'm sorry. I'm asking you too. We went too far. Please, let's not involve the police. Truly selfish, aren't you? I don't need your apologies now. Instead of calling the cops, let's end this relationship. Write this down. With that, I pulled the divorce papers out of my bag and thrust them at the two. Divorce? Isn't that a bit hasty? For me, it's been too long coming. Come on, Trevor, sign this now. But how will you live after the divorce? You'll struggle without me, won't you? No way. It's harder living with someone who won't take my side and does nothing while Mila harasses me every day. I'm perfectly fine with getting a divorce. Once I made up my mind, nothing Trevor said could change my decision about the divorce. Trevor seemed to resign himself to this reality, watching how determined I was. His hands trembling, he signed and stamped the divorce papers. Mila, you saw clearly how Trevor signed the divorce papers, right? Now I'm a stranger to you both. Don't come asking me for any favors. If you dare to bother me about caregiving again, I won't hesitate to call the cops. With those words, I left my parents-in-law's house. Just before I exited, I caught a glimpse of Mila's face. Her ashen expression was priceless. A week later, I received a message from Trevor on WhatsApp. Drat, I'd forgotten to block him. Curious, despite myself, I opened WhatsApp. I'm really sorry for all the trouble Mom has caused. I regret not supporting you more, especially now that it's too late. Since the divorce, Mom's been even harsher, and it's taking a toll on me both mentally and physically. If you're willing, can we start over? I promise I'll be on your side this time. I had a sneaking suspicion this would happen, knowing Mila's character. Someone who believes they're the most important, she'd dictate to her own son without a shred of mercy. But what nonsense was he spouting now? Even if he said that, it was obvious he'd take Mila's side again. I had no intention of ever seeing their faces again, let alone reconciling. Annoyed by Trevor's message, I replied sharply. Don't be ridiculous. Just put her in a home, and don't ever contact me again. After sending the message, I blocked Trevor's WhatsApp. Of course, I blocked his calls too. With the child in my womb, a new chapter of my life was beginning.